This statement reaffirms Eritrea's sovereignty as absolute and non-negotiable, just as that of every African state. The embassy rejects narratives that recast Ethiopia's desire for sovereign access to the sea as legitimate, stressing that commercial port use is distinct from and cannot evolve into claims over Eritrea's coastline or territory. Recent media pieces recognize Eritrea's strategic role in the Red Sea and Horn of Africa, yet misrepresent its history and policy. They echo each other in normalizing Ethiopia's claim to sovereign access to the sea and depicting Eritrea's diplomacy as anti-Ethiopian, while relying on politicized characterizations instead of balanced analysis. Eritrea draws a clear line. Access can be negotiated, sovereignty cannot. Eritrea seeks no Ethiopian land or resources and supports lawful commercial use of ports through agreements. Global practice shows landlocked states trade via neighbors without gaining territorial rights. Economic size or need cannot be translated into sovereign entitlement. The historical record confirms Eritrea was never Ethiopia's natural coastline. From its establishment as an Italian colony in 1890, through British administration, Ethiopian annexation, and a long independence struggle, Eritrea's path culminated in the 1993 UN-supervised referendum. Framing this outcome as Ethiopia being stripped of a coast is historically false. The Eritrea-Ethiopia boundary is a concluded legal matter. Following the 1998-2000 conflict, both states signed the Algiers Agreement and consented to binding arbitration. In 2002, the Eritrea-Ethiopia Boundary Commission issued its delimitation decision, explicitly final and binding. Under international law, this border is settled, not open for renegotiation. Eritrea's regional diplomacy is framed as a legitimate Red Sea policy, not an anti-Ethiopia project. Its relations with neighbors and global partners address maritime security, regional stability, trade, and connectivity. These engagements stand on their own strategic logic. They do not require, nor should they be reduced to, an Ethiopia-centered rationale. Analysts often concede Eritrea's peace, cohesion, and strategic relevance, yet simultaneously brand it with reductive political labels. Speculation about future succession or dramatic collapse substitutes conjecture for evidence. Eritrea's governance must be assessed in its specific historical and social context. Not solely through external ideological templates. Eritrea underscores a core continental principle. If borders are reopened whenever a state is larger, landlocked, or claims strategic necessity, no African boundary remains secure. Africa's order rests on inherited frontiers, sovereign equality, and territorial integrity. Eritrea claims no one's land, but its own sovereignty is not up for negotiation. The position is unequivocal. Eritrea's sovereignty is not a bargaining chip in wider geopolitical trade-offs. It is an internationally recognized legal right, grounded in the same norms that protect every African state's security, independence, and territorial integrity. Preserving that right is essential to the stability of the continent's interstate system.
فالفينا يا مريت صريخة وإحنا طول الكرامة يرحاسي حاسنا